Welcome back to the Wolf of Queen Street podcast. Today's show, Shane the Mountain Warrior Cameron, a professional boxer that has had a career of 29 wins, 22 knockouts, 5 losses, won multiple titles throughout your career, had a 40-0 amateur career as well as had the opportunity to spar against Mike Tyson, so many other journeys. Also had in New Zealand the fight of the century, which we'll get into later, but is now also one of the guys that I would say in your mid-40s that is still ripped as shit and fucking looking like the man. Shane, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's amazing. Look, I grew up in a box, watching boxing all my life as my dad, and it was always something that I inspired to and everything else. And, you know, being able to sit across, you know, someone that's fought, someone that's met Mike Tyson, you know, gone in the rounds and all the rest of it, it's inspirational for me, and being able to, it's an amazing opportunity for me to do that. But one of the big things I wanted to find out from yourself is you from excuse the pronunciation, you're from a small town, Tiniroto.
Yeah,
a very small farm town in Gisborne. How did that, from that space, turn up to you getting into the boxing ring?
Yeah, that's a big jump. Tiniroto, that was where I was brought up. It's I wouldn't call it a town; it's a village. So it's just it has a school and it has a pub. You know, the main amenities,
main things, right?
So the school, so you went to school from 5 years old to before you went to high school, so primary. Yeah. And we had 34 kids in the whole school at the time. Now it's still going, there's got 8 kids in the school, and the pub is closed down, unfortunately, just because of just not enough people in the community. But a great place. I was brought up there. I fell into boxing later on in life, but where I started from a young boy growing up, you know, you have goals, and well, for me, I've always had goals. You know, I wanted to be a shepherd, I wanted to be a farmer. That's all I dreamt about doing.
Could there be any more of a Kiwi thing say growing? Could there be any more of a Kiwi term, right? Going, I want to grow up, and my motivation and drive in this world is to be a shepherd and a farmer. To everyone else that's watching the program, it's such a Kiwi thing, right?
Yeah, well, if you're from the country, you know, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah,
you know, so growing up, my education wasn't that great. I found out years later, or probably only like 5 or 6 years ago, that I was dyslexic, and so my reading and writing wasn't that sharp. So, but you know, and confidence is important. What you do in life, you know. So I was below average at school. So you think about my confidence was very, very low. I didn't want to be there. I was thinking, I just want to be a farmer. I want to be a shepherd. I was thinking, you don't have to be smart to be a farmer or a shepherd. I think I can still do that. But growing up, I worked on various sheep and cattle stations, and and then how I got into boxing. I call them turning points in your life. How did I end up like we were just saying, coming from being a farmer from little community, and then going to London, and that's how I got into boxing. Yeah. So turning point for me was sheepdogs. You need sheepdogs to work on a farm. I rode a horse to work every single day, and dogs are very important on big sheep and cattle stations. You know, they get you. They make, if you got good dogs, then you have a good day. If you got shit dogs, then you're going to have a hard day. You know, it's like having probably people that work for you, and if they're good for you, if they're good employees, then your days are going good. If they're shit employees, then same with dogs, you know. So I had a turning point. I was going to let my dogs out of the kennel early one morning. I had about like 12 sheepdogs at the time. And one had died, and another one had nearly died. So it was a turning point for me. They'd eaten some rat poison anyway, but like that was the turning point. So I never thought I'd go to England or go anywhere. But that point there, I was saying, what am I going to England? Go to England for my OE. Didn't know what OE meant at the time, because a few people that I knew going, I'm going to England for my OE. So I was 18 years old at the time. I'm 19, nearly 19. So the turning point. So I handed my notice. I thought, I'm going to go to England for 6 months, and then I'm going to farm my dogs out, and then I'll come back and carry on farming after 6 months. But so that's how I went to England. So I went to England. There was another turning point. And then that was from watching some boxing, because my grandfather used to box out of Wellington back in the late 1920s. So I was always inspired by listening to his boxing stories.
Oh, that's amazing. Then
I thought, man, I will need to give that sport a go. But where I come from, it was just a pub and a school. There was no boxing club, no rugby club, no nothing. And then there was a turning point. I was watching some boxing on TV after being in England for like nearly a year. And I'm thinking, I seen some boxing. It was Prince Nazim Hamid. Prince Nazim Hamid. I was watching it. I was going, I need to give this sport a go. So that was the other turning point. And then boom, and then away I went. I found a boxing club within 2 days, 3 days, and then my whole life changed. Yeah.
It's amazing how it changes and it moves and shifts. But a couple of things I want to find out from you is, firstly, how was the experience going from Gisborne right into London? How was that bit of a social shock for yourself?
Massive culture shock. I was a hillbilly. Like I wore a fleece jersey, but a fleece jersey now is a nice lightweight fleece jersey. It weighs nothing. A fleece jersey back then was like two sheep knitted together. So it was like heavy when coming down here. I look like I just come from, I don't know, like Canada or living in the snow. So going to London and bearing in mind I'd never even been to Auckland at the time. I went from Tiniroto straight flew to Auckland, then flew to London. So big culture shock. But hey, man, one thing I've learned and that I'm whatever I do, I'll give it a good go. I'll back myself. And just going to London. I didn't know anyone there. I knew of someone somewhere to stay. Person I didn't know about. So I just found my way through the tubes, and I just managed to find my way. But yeah, that was a massive culture shock.
I totally get it. It's the same wasn't as much of a culture shock. Like for me, I came over to New Zealand when I was 18, 19, never left the country. I mean, South Africa's quite a big. I just flew over here by myself to figure out my own thing, own world. And you somehow figure it out, right? You find your place. And as long as you got a place you can put your head down, everything else will sort of sort its way out, because at that age, you don't have too many worries of the world, right? If you've got a place to put your head down and you've got toast and baked beans, you're sussed, right? You're pretty sorted. But you're talking about seeing Prince Nazim, right? I think we all grew up in the 90s watching Prince Nazim fight. I remember sitting with my dad, and he was so arrogant and so cocky out there, and he was brilliant till was his last or second to last fight. He only lost once. But it was so early in that flamboyant era. There was no other flamboyant. He was before the Mayweather era, really. And the world just got capitulated by, you loved or hated him, and he knew that. Yeah.
Loved or hated him. And so you followed him to get beaten up, or you followed him because you wanted him to win. So he got both sides, and he could back it up too. He talked it up and he backed it up like you just highlighted. He only lost one fight, and most of his fights were by knockout. So there was Muhammad Ali, doing the talking, and he was backing it up, and then there was nothing really until Prince Nazim, and then you get the old ones still. Mayweather, and obviously, and there's, but it's not a common thing, for fighters to go out of their way to be boisterous and disrespectful and all that sort of stuff. But every single fight, so it just adds a lot more pressure. But those guys can obviously handle it, and they can back it up.
I mean, it's true. I mean, if you look at sort of the guys in the last couple of years that's up there, outside of the heavyweights, that's building up, right? That's just to build up a card. So you look at the Tyson Fury and Wilder and those sort of guys, that's part of the story. But you look at the guys like Triple G, Canelo, they talk very little, right? I think and then Lomachenko, the Matrix Man or whatever, like they almost speak nothing, right? Because they just let it in the round. And it's funny, I was watching an interview with Canelo just recently where someone runs his mouth. Canelo won't even talk back to him because he's like, I'm not even going to say your name, because if I say your name, you get the publicity coming out of my mouth. So he's like, fuck you. You can run your mouth. I won't even fight back. So it's a total different almost era we see now compared to, in the 90s, early 2000s, building up those stories. And I'm guessing it was still to build up the sport, because we went through a bit of a lull period, struggling on that. But just coming back to, your starting of your career, had you had a couple of pub fights in the street? What made you think you could climb in the ring and box? Because I can tell you, I've climbed in the ring. I thought I could fight. I've had enough street fights and other situations and brawl, and you get humbled real quickly. And I have that joke is, you think you can fight till someone punches you in the nose, then you know what fighting's about, right? Yes, I had a couple of fights in the pub, but it's all around alcohol. You know what I mean? You always get a bit more courageous when you've had a few drinks, But I don't know. I just thought I'd be good at it. I thought I'd be good at it. I'm very strong minded. If I put my
my mind to something,
Yep.
you know, it's pretty hard for someone to break my mind and set me off track.
Yep.
You know, and I started, like I say, I trained for my very first fight for 3 months.
Yep.
You know, I did a lot of sparring in England, and then I had my first fight the week of my 20th birthday. And it was actually a regional bout anyway.
It's amateur, right?
Yeah, amateur.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I won that in the first round. First round, it was all over. I punched the guy through the ropes. And but before that, let's just go back. Before that, I was shitting myself. You think about nerves and like, oh my God, I'm out the back warming up and I'm going, what am I doing? What? I don't know how you felt before your fight, but in my very first fight, I'm going, what the hell am I doing? You know, but the feeling that you get, you know, when you're victorious after that, it's just like, oh, man, nothing can beat it. You know, and I'm playing team sports. I played rugby and I played sevens and but nothing captivated me like the boxing, because I'm a control freak, firstly, and secondly, I don't like to rely on anyone, you know, to do my job. You know, so with rugby, you know, you're relying on passing the ball, or you pass the ball and they drop it, or they miss a tackle, then we lose the game because of other people's faults. Yep. With boxing, if I lose a fight, man, I look in the mirror and go, that was my fault, you know? But one thing I did do, I always made sure I was fit, always made sure I made sure I was fully conditioned. So come fight night, there's no way in this heat, I've had 92 fights, and there's no way that I've stepped through the ropes once thinking I was going to lose. You know, I've had some big fights, but no way I think I was going to lose. I didn't win them all, but I won a big chunk of them.
It is so true. Yeah. I mean, I was freaking out my first fight as well, more in the sense that I was fighting a guy that was almost 40% bigger than I was, and it was just, and I think back and look at it going, if I could have removed that, I would have mitigated. He was a bigger guy, I was stronger, but I was quicker and I had the skills. And I didn't come out with a win, but I've got the fight online, and I watch it back every now and then going, I could have had it. But then it was also that experience where I learned that I'm not a small guy now. Put on a lot of weight since, but I'm a small guy from height, from a heavyweight. So that's where I realized that heavyweight's not where I need to be. There's very few guys in the world at 6 foot, right? That make heavyweight theirs. You know, coming down just in the modern world now, it's more, you know, 6'7", you know, 6'6", 6'7". Even at 6'4", you're a short heavyweight in modern heavyweights in some of the guys, right?
But it's all mindset. Like I think my best tool is my head. So I don't care how big they are, how solid and how musty they are. I'm thinking I'm just going to own you. You know, it's around what your head is telling you. So I get a lot of my confidence from my sparring, my training. Like I said, I don't care how tall you are. I'm going to knock you the fuck out. You know, that's in my head when I'm staring you, especially in the pro ranks. You know, the amateurs is a little bit like, you know, different to the pro ranks. Pro ranks is a business. It's a business. So I looked at it as a business. You know, I'm sharp with running my business today. I'm sharp with running my business at the time. You know, so yeah, man, like intimidation factor was what I used to like to play. You know, I wasn't big shooting around. Like I shot my mouth off when I fought David Tua, which I've never done before. And I've never done post, you know, just, it was a stupid thing. But anyway, it's just the way you live and you learn the hard way. But like, I used to love Mike Tyson, was one of my favorite fighters. Why? He was a very explosive, but I used to love how he intimidated his opponents at the weigh-in, at, you know, just how he held himself and all that. So, you know, I love this style, I love this explosive thing. I'm not going to fight like Mike Tyson, but I can hold myself the way he does. You know, I don't say silly, stupid things, but like, you know, it's intimidation factor. It's all part of winning on the night. You know, you intimidate the opponents at the weigh-in, and just how you hold yourself. Hey, bro, no, they're fucking shit. You know, this is a fight game. We're not playing marbles here. This is a fight game. Oh, you know, hurt me. You fucking want to step through the ropes with me? I'm going to let you know what it's like. And I used to think that when we were sparring. So whoever I was sparring, you know, yeah, man, just like, I'm not trying to knock them out, but I'm going to let them feel who they're in the fucking ring with. Yeah. Because I used to think whoever wants to spar me, I've had many guys, oh, you want to spar? You want to, oh, no, cool, you turn up in the gym. So I just own them straight away. Just let them know who they're in with. Let them know who they're in with, and I'm taking fucking control of the sparring. Yeah, I let them know who I'm with. I don't care who they are, what they've done or anything. You know, I know I'm strong physically, and I know I'm strong mentally. I might not be the biggest heavyweight, but man, I've knocked a few big buggers out. You know, so it's around that mindset. You know, I don't care how, it's about the power of the mind.
Before I get on the Mike Tyson journey, I've mentioned this before. I've had Duke and Williams on about a month ago, a new wave fighter that went to Com Games last year and stuff. And I spoke about how he thought it was quite funny and quite true. Is I always loved boxing. I grew up with it. I watched I think the first 15 fights of Joseph Parker's fights here. I watched Dave Latelli fight. I flew over for Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao in Australia for Jeff Horn. I follow all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And for many of my teens in my early 20s, I always want to fight. My old man always used to say to me, Lawrence, he goes, not in a weird way, you're too privileged to get in the ring. And I never understood or appreciated it until I got older to actually look back and understand. If you look at the guys out of like the Mexico fighter or the South American fighters, or a lot of those guys that get in the ring, of you either got to be born with that urge, not to say urge to destroy or hurt or fight, or you've got to get in the ring to be able to fight to survive, really, right? If you don't have that percentage or that genetics in your body, there's very few normal upbringing path people that make it, a really good go at boxing.
Yeah. You got to have that right mindset, and you got to want to. You got to want to do it. You got to want to do it. And you got to have that sort of right mentality. Yep. I used to love hurting people. Love hurting people, and that's be sparring and stuff like that. Not trying to be a big note, but I'm saying, man, this is a fight game.
Yep.
If I don't want to act like that, I wouldn't have fought.
Yep.
I remember talking to David Tua years after we fought, and I go, "What was your thinking when you were walking to the ring?" Every time he goes, "Cool." I go, "Fuck, exactly." I thought the same thing, and you have to. Yeah. But I speak to other fighters. Oh, no, nah, and those fighters never do anything because they don't have the right mindset.
Correct.
And the top excellence of athletes boxing, they have that mindset. Like I'd seen a clip on George Foreman. Like 2 days ago, and he's just going, I felt really bad. He goes, because when I fought Muhammad Ali in Rumble in the Jungle, I wanted to kill him. And he was just wanting to outbox me. Yep. But then he's all, he's really religious now, George Foreman, and he sort of disgusted in himself the way he thought. But like, hey man, that's how you think.
That's the game, right?
Yeah, that's the fake. That's the game. So you're either there if you're thinking about, maybe I should do that. I need to win this fight. No. Or you're over here. It's a business. You're in the fight game. I want to hurt people. You got to tick those boxes. And then years later, like I don't fight now. People go, you can still fight. I go, no, I don't have the hunger. I don't like to hurt people like I used to. Yep. I used to, try and be the man. I think obviously I might try and be the man and try and be the big dude or whatever, but like I wasn't mouthy around it, but I just hold myself in different ways and just let them know with the punches that I land on them.
Yeah, so talking about the kill. Let's get to Mike Tyson. So you've gone amateur for a period of time, com games, switched over, made your first pro debut in Auckland. Gentleman's name slips my mind.
Yeah, Winston Palu.
Yeah, first fight. You always remember your first one, right?
Yeah, Winston Palu.
Yeah, got into it, and then you were sort of mid-teens, undefeated. Was it 13-0 or 12-0 when you got the call for sparring?
Oh, yeah, 11-0.
11-0, right?
11-0.
With 10, something like 10 knockouts?
Yeah, 10, that's right.
Yeah, 11-0 with 10 knockouts. And then, so you got a call to go and spar. Talk me through this whole Mike Tyson situation.
Yeah, so I was involved with the Warriors at the time, the Vodafone Warriors, and I was managed and owned by the owners of the Warriors at the time, which was Mark Hodgins, Eric Watson, and Mick Watson. Yep. They're not even related. Mick Watson was the CEO of the Warriors at the time. He was a boxing fan, good man. He actually organised organised the sparring with me and Mike Tyson through his contact with Jeff Fennick in Australia, legendary Jeff Fennick. So Jeff Fennick was training Mike Tyson in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's how that happened. I just went over there. I didn't get paid or nothing. I went over there to just to experience it, and it was an amazing experience, like something that took me, because life's, like I said at the start, life's all about confidence, right? And man, after that camp, I think, man, I reckon I can do this. I reckon I can do this. You know what I mean? Like the sparring went really good, and Mike gave me some great compliments, and the whole camp just went good, and it just catapulted the rest of my career. But the experience, like Mike, ferocious man. Very explosive, man. I remember our first spar. He had two other sparring partners there, but when I was there, they just used me. It was awesome. Every day we just sparred. Every day we sparred. Every day we sparred. And he was very ferocious. Very. One thing that stood out with me, with Tyson, he was very fast. Probably not the biggest puncher. Definitely not the biggest puncher. But man, his speed and his accuracy. Yeah, he's all or nothing. There's no in
Middle
between.
ground.
Yeah, there's no middle ground. So when the ding, 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 the bell goes, I turn around with the mouth guard, turn around, he's right there. And I'm like, oh, shit. And he's bloody just on me, gets me on the ropes and just, man, it was like.
And I know you've spoken about this previously. At that point, the bell goes, you turn, Mike's in front of you, Mike Tyson's in front of you. You go, fuck, what am I doing? He's never said a word to you at that point, right? You haven't spoken to him. He hasn't said hi. He doesn't know your name. This is the go, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you think about the mentality of his head. What's his mentality of his head? He's just fucking white guy, man. I'm going to bash him. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, that's the mentality you need.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, when we were in the gym, we were putting our boots on and he walked in. It was quite dark, the gym, and Mike said, oh, fuck, there's Mike Tyson. And he's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of my gym, motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of my gym. But like, I'm thinking, oh shit, we're just putting our boots on. But it was the cameras. Wherever he went, the cameras just followed him everywhere. And the camera guys all getting out the bloody door, and then they following bang down the things. Yeah. And then Jeff Fennett come over, who was coaching me. He said, oh, Mike's in a bad mood today. You're sparring him first. I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. But I knew my mindset. I'm there to spar Mike Tyson.
You're prepared, right?
I'm ready. Yeah, man. And then
prepared for war.
Ding, turn around. Oh, fucking Jesus. Then it can be a hongy. But it was awesome, man. And like, I just took so much. But Mike, he's got a high pitched voice, eh?
Oh, yeah, totally. People don't realize that. I know it's funny because obviously we all grew up. I mean, you've had the privilege to meet the man, be in the ring with him. You know, I grew up in the 90s watching it, and everyone just saw the ring stuff until he got out the ring and spoke, and everyone's like, oh, and he like don't want to laugh because it's fucking Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, and he's very smart too. He's like got a photographic memory, so he remembers like so many things. But we were sparring one day. And heated, well, obviously all the sparrings are heated, and like he caught me in the groin area. I said, hey, Mike, watch the low shots. He goes, sorry, Shane. I'm like, holy shit, that come out of the baddest man on the planet. Sorry, Shane. I'm thinking, okay, man, that's all right. No problem, Mike.
I can imagine, seriously, I can imagine, not that he would have spoken much in his fights, right? He goes in his first, what was it, like 20 and 20 wins, 20 knockouts in the beginning. I can't imagine him speaking much. Yeah. But you can imagine being in the ring, then he opens his mouth, and just for a split second, your mind just like goes, that can't be out of, that can't be out of Mike Tyson's mouth.
Yeah, I know.
But you've also got I know there's a story that you've got a really close relationship with him, and you got hold of him a couple of years later, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I was in Las Vegas with a mate, probably, so 2005 I sparred him, so it would have been 2012. So however many years that is later, I'm in Las Vegas with a mate. We're in a bar, and there's this big African American dude. We're having a beer, and he goes, "Hey man, you look like a bit of an athlete. What do you do?" I said, "Boxing. I do boxing." I was still fighting at the time. He goes, boxing, my boy's Mike Tyson. I go, yeah, I'm sure he is. I said, I sparred Mike in 05 in Phoenix, Arizona. He goes, did you really spar my boy Mike? I go, yeah, no, good. He goes, I'll tell you what, man, I'll give him a ring. I'm thinking, comes up on his phone, Mike Tyson. I'm thinking, nah. So shit. Ring, no answer. And then sort of 3 hours go by, and I go, all right, man, I'll catch you later. We're going to go to another bar. He goes, hey, man, I'll give you Mike's number. I'm thinking, who the hell gives out Mike Tyson's number? Yeah. And I didn't have my phone, so my mate, I said, hey, put this in your phone. And I didn't want to like go, hey, Mike, do you remember me? And I sparred you back in 2005, man, you know, the white guy, you know. And I go, nah. So I text him, I say, hey, Mike, it's Shane Cameron. I'm in town for a couple of days. It'll be cool to catch up. Yep. And he rings, I'm in my room in the morning, and my mate's in his room, and then Mike rings his phone. He goes, yeah, Shane there, man. And he's going, oh, no, he's in his room. Who's this? He goes, it's Mike Tyson. And my mate's like, holy fucking hell, this is what did he say? This is, I can't remember what he fucking said. This is more important than my kid's being born or something like that. Yeah. I was like, fuck. He goes, tell him this. He goes, straight away, he must have been following my career. Because he goes, what the fuck happened with that Danny Green fight, man? He should have knocked that motherfucker out. He's too strong for that motherfucker. He should have knocked him out, man. And then my mate's just, oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, this is more exciting than my kid's been born. That's what he said. He goes, tell him to ring me, man. Tell him to ring me. So my mate rings, you wouldn't just fucking believe who just rung my phone, man, Mike fucking Tyson. You gotta come and ring him. So oh, you cool, fucking run up to the room. So I ring him. First thing he says, how you doing, Shane? You all right, man? I'm like, holy fuck, I'm doing all right, Mike. How you doing, brother? I'm doing all right, man. And I'm doing all right. Then straight in, hey man, what the fuck happened with that Danny Green fight, man? Shut up, that mother. You're too strong for that motherfucking da 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 da. But yeah, I was humbled, man. I was just like, he fucking remembers this fucking dude, man. How many dudes would he have sparred throughout his whole career?
Just
you know,
for hundreds a day.
Yeah,
you know, in the beginning they couldn't find people, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So yeah, I'll take that to the grave.
you stood toe to toe with Mike Tyson, and he remembers your name, and that gives you the respect. That's big props to you, and that's pretty epic, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's obviously you're talking about. That was 2012 when that situation happened. If we go back, obviously a few years before that, we have the New Zealand fight of the century, right? Yourself, David Tua. Let's go into that just a little bit. Now, no. You spoke about in the beginning, in the fight of the century, you ran your mouth a little bit. It was the first time in your career. You've never done before. You've never done it afterwards.
Yeah.
Let's just chat through a little bit because I know that night didn't go the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
Boxing's like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, best boxers out there will have a night that just don't come off, and unfortunate for you. But I know there was a whole weird situation for yourself, and in speaking out and making it a little bit personal and all the rest of it, and maybe you would have done it a little bit differently in hindsight and all the rest.
Yeah, I'll just go back a little bit. So when I called out David Tua, I called him out. I fought in Christchurch, and I was maybe like 16, 17-0, maybe then, or 18-0, and I called out, I want to fight David Tua, and that was it. Nothing come of it. I knew you'd never.
Because he was ranked at that stage and you were not, right?
Yeah, I was just in the no. I was ranked number 9, and he wasn't fighting.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't fighting because he'd gone through all that poor bastard going through all that hiccup with Kevin Barry.
Yeah.
So so I called him out because I knew it wouldn't happen at that time. So I just kept fighting, and then I become ranked number 6 heavyweight in the world, and then the roles are reversed. So I called him out. And then I'm on verge of getting a world title shot at a heavyweight.
Yep.
And then the papers on the Sunday, he's calling me out.
Mm-hmm.
He calls me out. I want to fight Chain, which is fair enough, man. Because when I called him out, I think about fuck, I'm a no one, So I needed him more than he needed me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I become ranked number 6 heavyweight in the world. He needed me more than I needed him, and I'm thinking, fuck, I don't need this fight. But I called him out. I'm a man of my word. Let's do it. So that's how that started. And then it was promoted as strictly business. Then it got personal. I don't know. The promoters. I probably, sometimes you listen to people, and I think I wish I hadn't listened to people. Promoters talk it up, and I'm just like, I talked it up, but he didn't, But then he started, he gave me some cheap shots too, But this is a fight game, I still get shit from it today, like social media and that. They you're a fucking bum, you got knocked out, fucking knocked the fuck out. But David, I get it every day, It's just like, man, just let it go. I messaged some guy back yesterday. I go, man, just you're a tough guy behind your phone. I said, just let it go, man. I have.
Yeah.
But this is a fight game.
It's always David Tua, one of the guys with the fucking hottest punches in the world, right?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And like I say, some days it comes, some days it doesn't.
Oh,
That's
mate.
not, your career is not by one fight, right?
Nah, but it feels like it is sometimes. It's like, shit, man. But this is a fight game, and then the heavyweight division, man, he'll go down as one of the baddest punchers. I've sparred Mike, and David punches a lot harder than him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. My best redemption on that was when David got beaten by Monty Barrett.
Yep.
And my manager was at that fight. It was out in Manukau, South Auckland there.
Mm-hmm.
And Barrett won that night. That wasn't David's night. It wasn't David's night. It was Barrett's night. He was on.
Yep.
My manager rang me. He said, Shane, you want this fight? I said, fucking make that fight happen.
Yeah.
Make that fight happen. That would be my closest redemption as opposed to fighting David again. And that fight was man, I was on.
Mm-hmm.
I was on. It was like a vicious triangle, really. Like me and David fought, and he bloody took care of me. And then Barrett fought David and Barrett took care of David, and then people go, how do you think you can beat Barrett when you got beaten by David, and then Monty Barrett beat David, you know? But it's just on the night, the way the fight game can go. And I had a wicked camp. I was in London sparring with David Hay, and man, the slickest dude I've ever been in the ring with.
He's pretty good.
He's the man, you know. And so I come back over here and took the fight. It was my easiest fight, honestly, my easiest fight. But I was on, you know. And just, again, I just put Monty, man. I just caught him, put him to sleep, and this is a fight game. People can get bloody seriously hurt, and there's only one person who's going to win this fight, you know, especially in the heavyweight. Someone's going to get knocked out.
So, it's amazing. And I know it was about a couple of years later, you retired. After was a couple of years later, you had a handful more fights after that.
Well, after I fought Monty Barrett, then I got the call up from Danny Green to fight for a world title, but then that being at cruiserweight. So, and when I started my first fight, I had my first fight back in 1998. I want to fight for a world title, you know. So fast forward till 2011, then I finally got my shot at the world title, and that being not at heavyweight. My preferred weight was heavyweight, but cruiserweight was the go. So I dropped 14, 15 kilos
in a couple of months, right?
I gave it 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. But yeah, and then it was a tough night at the office. You know, Danny just it was just too good for me that night.
You know, it's an amazing career, Shane, that you've gone through, and everyone, and the stories and the people that you've, you know, be able to spar on the cam. She's talking about Mike Tyson, David Hay, and so many more other. I can imagine there were other boxers out there that are nobodies. No one would know their name, but the skills and the strength and everything else they've shown out there. But one thing I think is always a cool question to ask a boxer, even while, you know, after their career's finished and a good few years afterwards, is in your, let's say, your 20-year career, who was a dream fight for you in your times? Like, you've seen and sparred across. If you could pick a dream fight, who would you have loved to have been, you and someone else in the ring? For say heavyweight world title, would it have been you and Mike? Would it have been you and where else would you have had a dream fight?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. Probably my other favorite fighter is Evander Holyfield, but man, he's. I don't think it'd be a dream fight for me because he's pretty. Let's say
let's just say in the dream, you know. So we don't have to fight, but the dream for the card, like if you could put yourself on a card, you know, self and Holyfield.
Yeah, Holyfield. Well, I was actually I could have fought him. You know, there could have been an opportunity, but nothing happened. There was a fight him towards the end of his career, fighting in Australia. You know, and at that time, man, I you know, now I'm a bit different. I think about, I don't know if I'd won that, but like back then when I was fighting, I'd beat everyone. In my head, I'll beat everyone. Yeah, I'll fight Holyfield. Yeah, I'll beat him. But look back now, he's one of my favorite fighters. Same with Tyson and Tua. Tua was the man. Man, he still is the man. You know, it's
So you and Tua good now?
Yeah.
No, I know it's been many, many years.
Yeah, it takes a while, man. It takes a while. Like, it takes a while for me to, you know, I didn't dislike him. I was just gutted that I lost. I just gutted that I lost in that fashion. You know, just like I didn't even get the chance to prove what I was capable of doing. You know, so it was interesting. Like, it was like 7 years later after the fight. And I text David because I thought, man, let's catch up for a beer, you know. And I text him. I said, hey, bro, be good if you and your wife can come over and we'll have some dinner, and a few drinks. And man, far out, we got on the piss. It was good. we were drinking tequila in my garage. It was like, we had some good chats. So we talked about mindset. I love the mindset. And I said to David, man, like, you've had some mean fights, man. I said, what's been a fight that you've been the most nervous about? He goes, fighting Shane Cameron. I'm going, hey? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, there's no way. He goes, there was so much riding on it. He goes, I've fought some big guys. He goes, but man, fighting you, he goes, I couldn't lose to you. I couldn't lose to you, man. He goes, that's a homecoming fight where, yeah, man. He said, if I lost to you, he said, they wouldn't even let me back into Samoa. You know? But that's just the fight game. And I go, he goes, you know what, man? He goes, I was worried about your body shots. Body shots. And I said, well, fuck, you didn't even let me throw them. Yeah. But humble dude, man. Good dude. But we had some good laughs. Shared some tequila shots, and man, it was good. It was pleasure to be in his presence that night.
And it's such, what he achieved was amazing, everything. And it's such a pity that, as a lot of guys in this sport specifically got fucked over through, the beginning part of their careers, and I don't want to call it anything out, but management or lack of management or, financial. Like, I mean, how did Mike Tyson go broke?
Yeah.
How did David Tua, excuse the frog, how did David Tua, similar thing, right? Mismanagement or the rest of it. It's like, there was a saying, again, my old man used to say to me, you just have to win the world title fight once and you're set for life, right? If you win it, the payout from that, you shouldn't, you're set for a normal life, not like a Mayweather life, but you're pretty set. And it's like, how do guys just keep on getting screwed over, right? But the people that's supposed to support them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. I don't want to indulge too much in this, but it was just trust. David trusted someone and it didn't really go. And David, man, he earned over $20 million.
Yeah.
He didn't want a world title, but he was the man. You're traveling. We lived in the same house together in Las Vegas when I turned pro. Yeah. We were living in the same house. We all trained under the same facility. So wherever we went, man, it was like, he got chauffeured everywhere, and like fucking wherever he got out, like they loved him. They loved him. Well, you can see why people love them, just because of his style and I sparred him back then too, so it just shows you my mentality where, man, I'm not going to lose to no one, but like, man, even when we sparred, I was thinking, man, this dude can punch. Fucking hell, but like, it's like, is it going to deter me and stop me from getting ahead, but I was thinking, shit, man, if I can beat David, that'll just, I'll get a world title shot. I'll get my world title shot. That's my shot, but I didn't win. So I went from number 6 to boom all the way down to, like, I don't know, 200. And then I worked my way back up, and I eventually fought for a world title at cruiserweight, so yeah, man.
It happens.
It happens. And we're still alive to talk about it. And my drivers in other areas, like
cooking.
Love eating. Love eating good food. Eating good food, and
talk to me about the passion, the gym. Obviously your gym on the shore, everything else that you do now. So sort of modern life, the last sort of 10 years. Like you say, you've got other passions now. Yeah.
I've got 4 businesses, which is I started up about 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 years ago now, a boxing brand, because the other probably major player in New Zealand is a company called NZ Boxer, and we were selling their gear at the gym, and then we just get so many faults coming back and stitching and just over and over again. And I just like, man, I'm going to start my own brand up. So I started my own brand up for that reason. They helped me to start it up because it gave me a reason to say, man, this gear is pretty average. So I started that up, and then that's all online. Sell that Counterpunch. I have over 100 different products, from hand wraps to boxing rings. So I sell quite a lot of gear. And then I've got a fitness app that I launched 2 years ago. So customized meal plans, customized workout programs. Counterpunch Fitness is the app. Best thing I ever done. That was inspired by lockdown. Lockdown, having a lot of people messaging me and asking questions around weight loss and workout programs and stuff. So did a lot of research. Took me 19 months to launch. I had to do everything. Is all video within the platform. Really happy, really proud of that. So that's probably the 2 main things, and I designed about 6-7 years ago as well an accredited boxing coaching course. I'm the only one that's accredited in New Zealand with that. So I travel around the country and coaches, and then I credit them if they pass. So keeping busy in that space and the fitness boxing space that I have a bit of experience in. And then we got the gym. Then I got the gym.
So how's a man that loves food that much have a ripped six-pack at the wee age of middle 40s and
45 now.
45 and still six-pack and ripped? It's funny because I spoke to my dad yesterday or the day before. I'm like, I got Shane on the show on Friday. And he's like, awesome and everything else. And, we've both followed your career. And I'm like, here's a photo. Look at like on the Instagram. I'm like, look at this fucker, 45. And he looks jacked like a 20-year-old, right? I was like, and my dad's like, and he loves his food.
Yeah, fuck. I love my good food. Yeah, exactly. So I've always been good with my eating.
Yeah.
I have takeaways now and again, but I'm probably too bloody vain to be overweight, you know, and I've got no fucking hair anyway, so there's nothing there. I can't slick my hair up and make that all nice and gelled across there. Nothing, man. Don't worry about this, man. Just put a cap on and just lift my top up.
To Guy, I think I need to start working on myself because I'm sitting here like week after week, and it's the boxer. I've got a strong man next week, and I'm sitting there going, I need to get back in the gym. I need to at least be like, counter with my gesture. Because many years ago, I mean, obviously I was in the ring fighting, and I did bodyboarding in my 20s, and I've just gone off the other side, don't really have that motivation anymore, right? But so no, it's all funny.
You need to change that motivation, man.
I got to get back into it, but it's
if you want to, if you want it, man, it's there. If you want it, it's there.
I'm one of those weird guys. So Shay, you might find this weird. I'm one of those weird guys. I need to have a specific reason to drive on my fitness. So, for example, I went to South Africa a month ago. So from 1st of January till it was my mate's wedding, I went vegan. I don't need other people to go vegan. With my condition and my brain tumor, my body really reacts really well. I lost 10 or 12 kgs in 3 months just by changing that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, cool, had the wedding, partied way too hard in South Africa, put on all the biltong and drillvorst and all the meat.
Beautiful.
And I came back and going, cool, what's the next goal? So I need I need that almost that gate. So like so that's why, for example, like when I went into bodyboarding, I went and signed up to an amateur event. Yeah. And for 12 months, man, I got jacked. Same with boxing. I went in, I'd always sparred and got in, loved it. And then I signed up and cool, there's the fight, gave myself the time. Then it was a hard target. Yeah. So now I'm just sitting here in my life going, cool. Yeah, I'm just enjoying life.
There's
nothing in front of it. Once there's something randomly comes in front of me, because I'm sort of that person. Oh, lose weight for the sake of losing weight. Nah.
My thing, and it always has been until I started the fitness app, was I always wanted to be in shape because I'm quite proud. Yeah. So I didn't want to be like that. Is that Shane Cameron over there? He's fat, hey? He's overweight. You know what I mean? So that's what I didn't want. And then now I've got the fitness app. I'm thinking, man, I need to be in shape, man. I can't go promote my fitness app and I'm fucking shit, bro. What fitness app you got?
It's the same as I interviewed Joseph Rakic a couple of months ago, right? Obviously one of the key guys in New Zealand,
earlier pioneers.
No, he's obviously over in Dubai, right? So he's left to Dubai just to get his brand bigger, and he's the same thing, right? He's always got to be on point because his brand is about the fitness and looking at it. And it always makes me think back in the 90s when I was a young kid and my old man was back in the gym days, and he used to fight. He was a kickboxing world champ. And he always used to come home to me and go, oh, man, we saw at the gym, there's new personal trainers. And he goes, there's this fucking dude that's the size of a bus, and he wants to now tell me how I need to train and lose weight. Yeah. And it's like, you seriously? You want to fucking tell me how to train and lose weight? Where like, look here, you should like maybe sort yourself out first.
Exactly.
So that's a sort of that whole mentality with yourself, right? And I can imagine the pressure of being in the game and selling the game. Yeah. You've got to be on that point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. So, and there's some big things I want to do in the fitness space, so I'm going to start entering into YouTube as well, you know, like getting into YouTube. I've already set up a YouTube channel. Yep. Because I put some fights up like years ago. I always like to play around, and I don't really know much about digital, but and I uploaded one of my fights, and it's had like 2.2 million hits. And I've found out that I found out yesterday, I got 8,000 subscribers.
Well done.
I'm like, didn't even know that. Yeah. So now I'm just going to leverage off that, and like I do all my boxing tips and my fitness tips and that through Instagram and Facebook and what's the other one? TikTok, yeah. But now I'm going to move into that space of with YouTube, man. That's a powerful, powerful tool.
Too, and the monetization off the back of it. So that's a big thing I do in the back end is I help people on YouTube and all the rest of it. People don't realize that. Once you get a point, I mean, myself and Guy, we're in the same space. Guy, film producer, content out
Let's
there.
Let's go, Guy. Let's make some money, man.
So Guy, what one of your channels is 80,000 subscribers.
Awesome.
Building up, and he's got a couple of multiple channels out there as well.
Great.
But people don't realize, and then once you get to the threshold, it's just not just it builds up and it just snowballs, but through the owner of the channel, the monetization that comes off it, it can be $500, $1,000. My YouTube mentor, as a weird one to say, I've got a mentor that's in the YouTube game. He's pretty much younger than me, retired just from his channel,
mate.
And it's crazy what you can achieve out there. And it's but it's such a, like you said, it's such a different space, digital world to brick and mortar business, right?
Yeah. But you got to be excited about it. Like I'm excited about it. Like if again, like I met the guy probably be a mentor for me yesterday, and he's in that space. And then I'm just so pumped last night. I'm thinking, fuck, I'm uploading videos, but then I'm scheduling posts to go out every single day because I got so much content over the years of sparring with Mike Tyson, not sparring with Tyson, but like my experience there was all videoed, and then I can just release that every.
Why are you doing it yourself? I know you're a real strong control freak. I know you're a control freak and everything, but why are you with the size and the platform and everything? Why are you doing it? Why don't you have to put it weird, a lackey that just literally you can just step away and do what you love and let someone else run that for you?
Yeah, I probably do need to do that. Before I come here, like I was up at 5 this morning. I'm at the gym and I'm training. Then I'm looking, what am I going to post now? I'm going to schedule this. And I'm thinking. Then I'm messaging my mentor. I'm going, bloody. Hey man, can you edit videos through YouTube because it's a little bit long and lag at the start. And I wanted to just cut that out. Can you?
So you can.
Yeah, but you're right. I should be doing that.
You should be doing
focus
that.
on the big picture. Hey, that's my problem. Sometimes the big picture doesn't come because I'm like, hey man, it's like packing boxes. So I get orders of counterpunch gear to go out every day, to get couried out every day. And then I've had a girl that used to do it for me, who she was employed by the gym, and then she's left. And then so I've been packing orders every morning for the last 3 months. But I'm a control freak because she's packing the box, poor girl Emma, and like she's putting the tape, and I'm going, hey, you're putting the tape on wrong, Okay,
Shane, you got to step away.
I know.
You got to step away.
We told that, man, but I just struggle to.
The top level of success is you can step away and it can still run by itself.
Yeah, because anyone can fucking tape a box. Fucking anyone can tape a box. And I'm like, no, you got to do it this way, and you don't be too short on the box, go down there, fucking I walk up and go, what am I doing? Shit. Yeah, so that's what I deal with every day.
Which you
myself.
Don't need to. You put all that shit on yourself, you can just step away.
I know, I was packing together all the big boxes before. No, I'm going to be late this morning. I said, shit, there's a guy, you want 40 gloves? I'm like, what's on there? I'm going, hey, what the hell, I can do a deal on these. Then I'm doing the box, hey, stuff. Yeah, anyway, so I got it done. Boom, got it. Bang, on just on time. I think you were waiting. Go, fuck, is this dude going to turn up or not?
Awesome, Shane. Hey, as we're coming to a bit of an end of today's show, anything interesting or to put out there for our audience, our listeners at the moment about yourself, something for them to think about?
Something for them to think about. One thing, one thing that I've always done through my life, I've always had a goal. Mm-hmm. I've always had a goal. So they're two simple things. I've always had a goal. And then, so for example, my fitness app, I wanted to launch my fitness app. Yeah, I didn't even know what was involved or how to generate a fitness app. But say this is a fitness app here, and I'm here. My drive to achieve that is so strong, so I don't really care what's involved along the, how long, what does it take? And, oh shit, that was hard, bloody, but I want to achieve that. So first thing, you need a goal. Yep. And if that goal is strong, you'll do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. Whether that be a fitness app, or whether that be buying a new car, or whether that be getting your first home, or anything. Going to the gym each day, or so your goal needs to be strong. Needs to be, and you fall off. Sometimes you fall off, fall off the rails, or fucking a day of bad eating, or 2 days of bad eating, or whatever. And then you fall back on. because their goal needs to be strong. Like you say, your goal's strong, whether you're going to go for a fight or you're going to get in shape before you go to back to South Africa. You know, your goal is strong because that's why you lost all that weight, and that's why you got in good nick or for the fight. The same thing. But if it's a mediocre goal, I think then you just kick the curb. And you know, but if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a goal in life, you're just floundering around. Floundering around. And don't worry, I had a few years of floundering around and just didn't achieve anything. So it's because I didn't have a goal.
It's amazing. Thanks so much, Shane, for that. And just to everyone else, you know, there's so much more of what Shane has to say. There's so much more what he's doing, like I said, in all the different businesses and everything else. You know, your socials are on point, even though I know because you're running yourself and control freak. So there's so much to learn out there. If you're in the fitness game, the boxing game, the fighting game, reach out to Shane on, you know, on social media. Shane Cameron, it's across most platforms in that way. And it's super amazing and an inspiration for what you did in your career, what you've achieved, and where you're still, you know, at this point and still giving back and still pushing, you know, what is important to you, which is, you know, making a difference to some people out there. And big props to you, Shane, and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, brother.
Anyway, thanks so much.
Awesome.
And as everyone else, as always, thanks for coming over to the Wolf of Queen Street podcast. And as always, stay beautiful, stay powerful, and I hope to see you again.